Proverbs 16:31. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. A hoary head is gray or white hair, where age has replaced the hair color of youth with gray or white. Hoary in the Bible is anything white or gray, and such hair color on men is considered a beautiful thing. Proverbs 20:29 says, "The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head." Gray or white hair on an old person should be a badge of honor, a crown of glory. It's a change that God ordained in hair color to indicate age, maturity, and experience. Age should mean greater wisdom, holiness, love of Christ, and godly example. But this is not always the case, so wise Solomon limited the proverb to those who have these virtues. God has given this mark to those who should have his attributes, that they might be recognizable and respected. Leviticus 19:32 says, "Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am the Lord." An ungodly and wicked generation, like being experienced today, despise old people. Isaiah 3:5 speaks of this. It says, "And the people shall be oppressed, every one of another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable." As Jeremiah was lamenting the sins of Israel, the Bible says in Lamentations 5:12, "Princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored." We're reminded of this need of respect to the elderly in the New Testament. 1 Timothy 5:1-2 says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger sisters with all purity." But we find that Solomon's son did not hearken to this advice from God through his father. In 1 Kings 12:13-14 it says, "And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, I will add to your yoke. My father also chastened you with whips, I will chastise you with scorpions." Because of this, the kingdom was divided. Long life is no blessing if lived in sin, for such a man is under God's curse. Isaiah 65:20 says, "There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that hath filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed." There is no sight more pitiful than an old man nearing death, who has nothing to show of spiritual value for the years God allowed him. Old men should be teachers. Hebrews 5:14 says, "But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised, discern both good and evil." These should be examples of sobriety, gravity, temperance, faith, charity, patience. Titus 2:1-2 says, "But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men may be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, and in patience." If you're an owner of a hoary head, do you receive the glory of your children and grandchildren? The Bible says in Proverbs 17:6, "Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers."